have nearly 20 years of experience as a trial attorney, and I'm a family law attorney. And I want to help prevent the financial and emotional devastation that litigating your divorce will bring you. I want to work with you in a way that we get you divorced so that you are not chewed up at the end, but that you come out stronger and that your family's stronger. You got this. You can do this. And you don't need to do this in a way that destroys everyone behind you. In 2014, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and after chemo, I didn't want to be a tool to hurt people anymore. It wasn't that as a trial attorney I was physically hurting anyone, but I didn't feel like I was doing what I was put on this earth to do to help. So I proceeded to unwind from becoming a civil litigator. When someone was on maternity leave, I took over her case, and it was a gray divorce. That's a woman that she was married to a retired military serviceman who had been abusing her their entire marriage. The situation was tricky because he had all the income coming in, and she was terrified of him. So when I came in, I found her a great mediator, and we mediated her case, and I treated it like her trial. I let her tell her story to the mediator, and I gave her space to purge the relationship, and he was skilled enough to realize what she needed. We settled that case very well, and afterwards, she came to me and she said, "You changed my life." And that's when I knew this was what I was supposed to be doing. Why would you take a family law case to trial? It is emotionally and financially devastating, and it's a trauma that people don't forget. It lives on for years. When my clients would come in the door, I would immediately, in that first consultation, I would be discussing with them the benefits of mediation, how you would want to resolve your case, and why cases should settle in mediation, unless there's some particular reason why your case has to go to trial. Sometimes you have to litigate your case. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you have a terrorist on the other side and you can't negotiate with a terrorist. But that is far and few between. So when the client is walking in and they are in the middle of their trauma and recognizing their trauma, this is the time not to tell them how we're going to beat up their ex and how we're going to take them down. I don't do any of that. What we talk about is why it's important to work in a low conflict manner, why it's important to protect your children from conflict if you have it, how your mental health is going to be affected. When I started realizing the benefit of having those conversations on the front end with clients and how that found its way through the path of resolution at the end, none of my cases were going to trial. We would settle in mediation. Family law mediations can be great and amazing and incredible, or they can be an absolute waste of time. It really depends on the attorneys and the mediator. Sometimes you would have a mediator who would just run back and forth between rooms and say, he said, she said, and no one would get anywhere, and you would complete your mediation, and the mediator would sign a certificate, and then you would have to go to trial. The mediator didn't actually facilitate a resolution that two people worked out on their own. They just brought their angry ideas to the table and let everyone get positional. And it was so counterproductive. And those mediations are expensive. They're expensive to prepare for. They're expensive to hire a mediator and have your attorney attend, only just to go and not really plan on resolving the case. I knew that I could use my skills that I had acquired as a litigator and my empathy and my ability to understand the lived experiences of all kinds of people, that I believed I could use that skill as a mediator to help couples resolve their divorces without destroying each other and allowing them to create the end of their relationship, however that looked, their property division, how they wanted to manage their children, but even more, how they wanted to talk to each other. What will their children remember about their divorce? I had couples coming to me that were interested in getting a divorce. They didn't want an attorney. They didn't want to fight about money or their children. They didn't want to blow up 15 years of a relationship and history and memories. They wanted a respectful divorce, an evolved divorce. And so I would provide them with information about where to go to find out where their forms are. They performed all of their negotiations at their kitchen table. They had someone else draft up their documents. If they didn't agree, they came back to me. We would sit down and we would work through whatever remained as far as what needed to be resolved, if it was some things with the kids or some property division issues, and do it in a respectful and creative way. But the goal is always to resolve the divorce at mediation, not to complete the mediation and then prepare for your trial. And it's a different mindset for them. If I have a couple coming in and they truly want to dissolve their divorce, and it is emotional, it is a difficult time, I first of all praise them and explain to them how unique they are, and I explain the benefits of what they're doing, not only to them, but their children. If children are involved, I give them research about the effects of no conflict in a divorce and how protecting children in your divorce can change the course of their life. And the divorce is not a death to them. They sat on their couch next to each other and talked about what they wanted this to look like. And as I explained the process in Colorado and praised them for the ability to sit next to each other on the couch, shoulder to shoulder, they started crying. And it was the most profound experience to see two people hurting but not willing to hurt each other to end their relationship. I worked with that couple for an hour and a half. They left for 2 months, and they are ready to complete their divorce today. Their children will never have to experience seeing their parents work through their divorce in front of them. Their children will know that mom and dad still love each other, but they don't live together, that they are all still a family and they can move forward. That is profoundly impactful for these children being so young, but where you really see the benefit is when these children become adults and how they move forward in the world and how they create relationships with other people. Much of that was formed in how they saw their parents in their relationship and end their relationship. After I started doing collaborative divorces, I began to mediate. And when I mediated and saw that I had the ability to help couples resolve their divorces without going through a year-long battle and spending their kids' college tuition, and instead they could focus on moving forward and focus on their children, I was hooked. I realized that my skill and that my passion really lied with helping people figure out how to resolve their conflict without going to court. You can resolve the most complicated of cases without going to court. You just need to be educated, and you need to have an opportunity to know what you want and to be able to articulate it and to be heard. When a couple is separating property, for example, in a divorce, different things are going to be important to them than a judge would ever know. So you can guarantee if your judge has to determine your division of property, they're never going to get it right. They're never going to know what's important to you. So if you and your spouse can actually get at least close to understanding what you want and what's important to you, but you're stuck, that's how I help. I help you get unstuck with the issues that won't let you resolve your divorce. If you've been waiting to get divorced because you've seen the destruction that has ensued with other divorces that you've seen, come work with me. Before you go and interview your divorce attorney, come talk to me.